Good evening and welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day locking in some profits. We had non-stop poppers. I mean, SDOT, SYRS getting popping, LGMK, AUST ran all the way up, SYTA, WINT, GRI. GNPX was a maniac. NCI, IVP, fun. PHUN was fun. CDIO and OKLO. So, okay, let's go and find the next set of poppers because that's a hell of a list right there. And that was just today. We've been nonstop crushing them. So, here we go. Let's roll because we got quite a list. And again, you don't want to trade them all, but you want to take notes and keep following, look at the charts, see what they're doing. That way you learn, but also take your notes, see the chart setups that you like, and just trade them smart, and you'll be perfectly fine. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. Here we go. I hope everybody had a great day. And like I said, they are popping. The market was, I mean, mostly red for the most part. Nvidia was up, Google was up a little, and Apple was up a little, but for the most part, it was red today, but nonstop poppers. So here we go to find the next set of poppers, DRUG, and that was another one. So I mean, it ran up this morning, not as high as yesterday. I would have to think this one's basically topped out and all run out, but again, this thing was on drugs. So I'll look at it in the morning and see what it wants to do if it wants to run as a momentum play, but we got some good running out of that thing. I mean, that thing ran like a maniac. It was on drugs. So that was DRUG, and it's at $48 right now. So it's not like it's real cheap. It ran down from 4. So it's way up there. We'll keep our eye on it. It's at the top. You just can't really tell exactly what it wants to do at this point. It's just basically flat after today. So I'll look at it in the morning. And obviously, if it's moving in the pre-market, you know it's going to be a momentum play because the thing has been crazy. So WINT, this is one we were looking at and kind of said it was going up, and it did. It ran up to what, 120-ish, and it's at 107 right now, but still looks healthy to kind of run up. So I would have to say WINT is looking healthy for tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be its little pop off and then it might be over, but that 20 is all the way at 144, and I have a feeling it wants to try to get there. So keep an eye on WINT in the morning because it looks like it still wants to get moving there. So it's not done. At least it doesn't look like it. GWAV, Green Wave Technology Solutions. This one had run up last week, I believe Thursday, and then it tried to run Friday, and then today it started to bounce back up. So I think this one may have a little bit of legs in it, and we'll have to keep an eye tomorrow. But I think this one could be running up as well in the morning, GWAV. So just keep an eye on that one. And like I said, it did run up, but if it does try to get moving, its high the other day was 63 cents. It could try to get running higher than that if it gets moving. So we'll keep an eye on GWAV and see if it does want to get moving up there. Peggy, PEGY, that Pineapple Energy, I mean, had a crazy run after the split, and we don't expect them to run forever. So we knew that big old run was crazy up over $12, and now it's back in the sixes. So let it pull back and we'll see if it wants to take a bounce. But again, we just look for that reverse split, that immediate pop, and get that smart trade in and out and lock in profits. And I'm telling you, you'll be happy. Just keep rolling them over and you will be satisfied. So that was PEGY and potentially could be pulling back now. AUST, how about that bad boy if I could type it in? But I was looking at it today, so I already know it was up. And it was pulling back. It ran up over $3 to 311. It's still in the top, but has that look like it probably topped out? It tried to run back up more in the not higher, but it was running back up in the after hours. It got back up to 274 area, but I'm not so sure it's going to run up again. So I'll look at it in the morning. Obviously, if it's green going up past that, it's at 274. If it's running to that $3, you may have a quick momentum play. but I think AUST is right at the top, and I exited that today. So even if it goes higher, I'll be totally happy because that was a beauty. I'm telling you, we smashed that one out of the park right there. So had it like under $1 and it ran up to 3. So there you go. That was a really nice trade. And that was AUST Austin Gold Corp. So there you go with that bad boy. And here we go at IXHL. Let me get that one in there. I think it was pulling back today, if I remember. Yeah, it was down 10 cents. It had run up the last few days and it got into the top. It's pulling out. I'm not exactly sure if it's really finished yet. It could try to run back up there. I'll look at it tomorrow. It may be topped out. So we may have to look at it. And it just barely got in there. And what did it get up to? Because today it did run a little bit higher. The high was 237 yesterday, Friday, and it ran up to 241 today. So it did get a little bit higher today. So maybe it tries to bounce back up there tomorrow. We'll take a look at it, but it did run up a little higher this morning. So IXHL, I'll keep an eye on and see what it wants to do. HRYU. This one was looking good to try to set up right there. It's still getting down there in the bottom. So we're going to watch for a little bit of dip action. And I'm not saying it's popping off tomorrow. Could it? It could, but I doubt it. And let it just set up right there. So let's find that low price. It looked like it was at 17 cents, 0.1720. And right now it's at a little over 19 and a half in the after hours, HRYU. So just watch for a little healthy pullback anywheres in that 18 or 17 if you can get it. And I'm telling you, this one's going to set up. It's looking pretty good. It's got that hard line right there. The 20 is not far off at 22 cents, and everything looks like it's setting up pretty healthy. So that's HRYU, and it's looking pretty good to set up. So I was saying it was setting up, looking good. Did have a little bit of pullback. Let me see in the after hours what it looked like. Yeah, just a little tiny pullback there. And like I said, it is setting up. So we'll keep our eye on that one, keep it on here, and we'll know exactly when it's ready. How about SDOT? Did we not call that one off? The split. When did it split? The 18th. So it split last Friday. And then today, boom, there you go. We talking about it last night. It ran up. It got up to 340. It's at about, oh, and it ran up to 349 in the after hours. So let me take a look if it went any higher than that. Mine still says 329 in the after hours. So it's great when they're always mixed up. But the high does say 349, opened at 312. It was moving, and we will see if it did get up there in the after hours to that 349. If it did, that's a perfect spot. I mean, this thing will probably try to pop off some more tomorrow. And again, we looked at this last night, SDOT, and we said that was going up, and there you go off the reverse split. So catch it up tomorrow and then look for that top area. So there you go, and make sure you just lock in profits on the way up. You can't be mad if you sell it and it goes higher as long as you're making profits. It's easy, easy, easy. So there you go, GDHG. I'll tell you what's hard, hitting the sell button. That's what the hard part is. Once you hit it and you make the money, once it goes up higher, you're just like, and I'll tell you the emotions. You're like, oh damn, I should have wrote it a little harder and got a little more out of it. And then it comes crashing back down and you go, thank God I sold that thing right there. And you forget that it even ran up. So lock in those profits. When you feel like it's the right time, pick your numbers, look at it, scope out your chart. And like I say, I'll set it even a little lower, knowing it's going to go higher, just so I know it executes it and you're just making money. So that's the way to play them. You don't need to focus on hitting the very bottoms and the tops every time. If you try to focus on that, you'll miss so many opportunities because you'll drive yourself insane trying to just figure that out, and it's very hard to do. Even in an easy market, it's hard to do. So here we go, GDHG. That one just pulled back like 12 cents. It looked like it wanted to try to get rolling. The 20 did not curl up yet. It just kind of pushed it back down. I have a feeling it's going to hit that bottom right there. And also the yin and the yang are all over the place. But this looks better for tomorrow to try to bounce off of there. So keep your eye on this GDHG to get bouncing right there because it looks like it actually does want to. And again, it dipped down today. What did it get down to? 246 right there. Not nearly as low as it was at one point. At that 190 was its low. But yeah, it's getting set up right here. So GDHG, keep your eye on that setting up. How about ELAB? That was one we looked at before, and it got set up right there. It came out of the basement not long ago and popped up on October 3rd. And today it ran up from 9 cents up to 13 and a half. It was like 9.5 to 13 and a half, but it's still looking pretty decent right there. Saw this guy, ELAB, caught my attention, and I said, "Oh, we used to trade this one," and look at it. So ELAB, keep your eye on that to try to move tomorrow because that looks like it wants to continue cruising up. That 20 looks like it wants to try to curl right under it and get moving. So keep your eye on ELAB. And how about that SYRS? I mean, could you call it any better than that? I telling you, this thing had something going on. And literally yesterday, I told you guys last night, I said, I'm telling you, it's in the right spot. It's going to move. And then boom, its low was 189. It opened at 193 and its high was 224. And it got even higher in the after hours. It went up to like 235 right there. So SYRS looking good. That mine still says 223, but I know stock charts was up higher. It's crazy. Some of them, mine's the accurate one on the after hours, and lately some of them the FinViz has been accurate. So I just know that the stock twits was so did I say stock charts? The stock twits was at 235. So and I'm telling you, this thing looks primed for tomorrow. So I hope you guys looked at it today. I was talking about it, even mentioned it, and it looks solid. So I like it. SYRS. Let's get blasting through that 250 and just get cruising right there like a rocket. So that's what I want to see tomorrow. So keep your eye on SYRS. And we've been talking about it. So it just got in the perfect spot yesterday, and we knew it Friday. And then last night we knew it. So CNET, CNET. Let's look at it. A little bit of pullback as it's setting up here and just kind of hit up to that resistance area. So we will take a look at it real quick. And here's the chart for SYRS, just real quick. So yeah, just take a look at that chart because that bad boy is looking really nice right there. So that's SYRS. And again, I mean, we've been looking at it. I noticed that one jumped out at me and then scrolled down. They were doing the insider buying, said that something crazy was going on. And I think you're about to see something crazy go on. So we looked at it for like 2, 3 weeks. We were probably, are we not early, like 3 weeks early on almost every single popper? So, and then we just have to time them out right. And we've been doing quite a good job lately. So there we go. Let's look at CNET here. It was setting up, trying to curl back up, just pull back a little bit. I mean, it did run up a little bit at 242. It opened at 224. Its low is 204 and it closed at like 2. So it did pull back there at the end. And let me just see at $2 pulling back. So let's just watch it pull back. I don't think it's anything crazy. I still think the bottoms there is 177. So just a little bit of healthy pullback. Like I said, I don't think it's anything insane. It's hitting that resistance, touching it. Let it get set up, and then we'll know exactly when CNET's ready, and we'll get popping on that bad boy for sure. So there you go with CNET, and that is CNET. And let's look at CETX next, because this one's been a popular one. It was trying to move today. I know that. It got up to what, 36 cents, opened at 29. Its low is around 28, and it closed at 30, and it's hitting the line. I know last night we were saying it was going to hit the line. So let's look at it, CETX, and see what it's up to. Yeah, it's just hitting that line right now. And let's see where the 20 is way up there. So we weren't worrying about that because it's at $3 range. So let's see if it can keep its momentum tomorrow. Not sure it will, but I also don't think it's exactly going to dip down real hard. So that's CETX. So I have a feeling it's going to try to move. It may pop up. They're trying to start to set up like they are supposed to with the old curl up. This one's not exactly curling out of the basement at all, but we'll see if it can make a curl tomorrow, CETX. But it should be a pretty decent one. And again, we'll see how it curls through at this point and just see, what it's going to do. So that is the CETX. Let's look at BCAN real quick. I just noticed OV Grows wants to see it. So here we go. Just oh, it's setting up in a perfect spot right there. That 20 is going to carry it up. BCAN. Remember, this one was on the list for a little while there. Let me write that bad boy down. BCAN looking really healthy right there. So I like it. It traded it did split. I was gonna say it must have split because I don't remember being this low. And it was a 1 for 17 back on August 27th. And now it's setting up pretty nice. And it opened at 8, got up to 818. Its low is 799, and it closed at 810. And BCAN looking good right there, OV Grows. So I like that one. And we'll keep an eye on that bad boy as well. And here we go. Let's keep on cruising. BSLK. BSLK. There we go. The Bolt Projects up 2 cents. And I was liking this one the other day when it did run up on the 16th last week. And I still think it has it in it. I think it's going to try to move again tomorrow. That 20 is going to come down for it. It's at 63, and this is at 50. So it's not too far off there. I mean, it's far enough where I don't think it'll gap up. Although it's starting to look much better. And I don't think it's going to get back to that low, which was like 35 cent area. Again, we're at 50. So we were looking at it down there, BSLK, and it is moving. And I think you're going to get a little curl up tomorrow, a little curl up action. It's going to test that bottom of the or the top of the basement and try to get out is what it's going to try to do tomorrow. So keep an eye on this bad boy and see if it can get rolling. I'll look at it for sure because I want to see if it can get rolling, and that's BSLK. Let's look at WTO real quick. Let's see what that's up to. U time. Let's see. This is a China stock, and the 20 is just coming down, and it's just running right above that line. I mean, at any moment, this bad boy could just pop up here above this 43, and it's at 45 in the after hours. It got up to 49, it jumped up over. And again, all it has to do is get up past like that 43, 44, and it can get set up and get really rolling there. So I think at any point, WTO could be a mover. And I know that these China stocks, they're running around. We'll look at the yin and the yang pretty soon, but they are jumping around quite a bit. And just like I said, keep an eye on it and just see if it gets above that, it'll be setting up right there. And it looks like actually I meant to look right here in the after hours. It is at 45, and yeah, it looks pretty good again, just flat down there, just riding that line. So just keep an eye on that bad boy. And I think we have a few charts for you real quick. So here you go. I'll just repost a couple if you guys want to check them bad boys out, courtesy of Laptop Travel. And boom, there's a couple of them bad boys. So there you go. And that's EJH. And we'll just keep on cruising right on through here. Here's Penn, PENN. This is getting set up. It had a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy, down 59 cents today. And yeah, just kind of dipped back. It curled through and pulled back to that line. And I think Penn is getting set. I know it's getting set up. It just, like I said, you want to find these pullbacks and dips. Look and see tomorrow if it can pull back a little bit more at all, if it actually curls through, or if it's going to bounce off if you're not in it and you do like it. And because again, we've been looking at it for the last just few days, and it was getting set up. It did run up Friday, I mean. And then today it did pull back. It opened at 1891. It got up to 1904. Its low is 1823, and it's at like 1847. So it's nothing crazy, but it is sitting there on that hard line, not looking bad. And I think Penn's going to get set up. It's just a matter of when it's ready to run. And that's PENN, and we'll keep an eye on that. VVPR. Let's look at that bad boy, Vivo Power. And boom, let's see what that's trying to do. That 20, I think, is going to have to come down to it at 93. It's at 89, just below 89 right there. So it's not far off. And I think VVPR tries to get set up this week. A little bit of healthy pullback today. Nothing crazy at all. Opened at 86 and got up to 90, and it's at 88, like just under 89 in the after hours. So yeah, I think VVPR can look much better. Mine says it's down to 85. This says 88. Again, they're all over the place. Nothing's, but even at 85, it's not the end of the world. So Not a bad one. Keep your eye on it as it's setting up VVPR, and we'll look at that. VCIG, VCI Global. I was looking at this and it was curling up like a maniac off the bottom there. Built a nice base. Its bottom was probably Friday at that 8 cents, and now it's at 9. So VCIG looks like it's trying to curl up there and looks pretty damn decent to me. So keep your eye on VCIG. I know we looked at it before and it went way down. I mean, almost to like nothing. So it's one of them ones that just never did what it was going to do. Maybe now it's finally going to run at that 9 cent area and get popping. And the 20 is at 12 cents. It can come down. So this thing could get set up right here, VCIG, and not look bad. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Let me just mark that. WBA is Walgreens Boots Alliance down 34 cents. And again, it ran into the top. I think it's going to pull back here into like the 940s again, possibly, and then set up again the run. But then after that, I don't know. They better get something together because this company is not looking healthy. I'm telling you right now, it is not looking exactly good. And that is Walgreens. But we played the bounce. We knew it was going to run off the earnings. I don't know how their earnings were decent. They were shutting down stores and and you know calling bad news. So sometimes that will make it spike up. And again, you're coming down out of the basement. See if it'll roll off the MACD when it comes back down to it. So I'll keep my eye on Walgreens. I'm just curious on the chart anyway, because again, the bankruptcy thing, and you can kind of just see that just looking at the chart. So Nubaru, here goes BURU. Let's look at it. It's not crossing down, it's pushing down to the line and almost looks like it wants to bottom today. Let me take a look and see what it did in the after hours. BURU, Nubaru. I think this one might have to roll off the MACD and get cruising again right up here off that 67 cent area. So watch this one tomorrow to try to get rolling up again. I don't think it wants to cross through and go down. So I think it's going to try to roll off there, Nubaru. So we'll just keep our eye on it and watch that and see if it does. If it does, it's going to run. That's why I'm saying I'm going to watch it, make sure it's going to. That's what it appears that it wants to do, and we'll confirm it. And if it does, we'll rock and roll with it. NDRA was looking good. It jumped up a little bit today. It opened at 21, got up to over 23 and a half. And this one's trying to get out of the basement and sitting in a great spot. I could see this popping up tomorrow. And I know last night we said it was looking good because it's nice and asterisked on mine and from last night's list. And NDRA is looking good. It did jump up a little bit, well over 10% today, and still looking solid for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that. And CERO is looking pretty decent as well. Had a little bit of pullback the last week going into today, but it looks like it's about to roll off and start moving. And I think that bottom was probably on about Thursday when it got down to that 8 cents. Today it did get down to 8, but in the high eights. And CERO I think is about to get cruising here. So keep your eye on that to roll off and get moving. So let me just mark that. Roll off of there. Let's look at UCAR, UCAR, and let's look at that because that was pulling back. It's still set up beautifully. Just ran up on Thursday, Friday, just sat still today, sitting right there and still setting up the 20s coming up to it. Actually, kind of good that it pulled back for it, made a little more space. So just watch this. Maybe it'll come down to the 20 and the 680s. And that's where you want to look for it at the if it's going to pull back there. And so look for UCAR. I think it's going to just roll right off that MACD as it pulls back down. And like I said, it is set up to get cruising. It's a China auto and truck dealership, and it's looking good to try to get running past them eights again. And we'll see where it ends up when it gets set up right there. So UCAR does look like it's going to drive up some more. And again, see if it wants to pull back tomorrow, get that best price as it sets up, and boom, it'll be off and driving. So that is your UCAR and LGMK. Logic Mark was moving today. This one opened at 11, got up to like 15 cents. It was cruising up there and still looks pretty good. It closed at 10, came down a little bit. Let me look at it on mine because I know it was moving around a little bit. Yeah, 10 to 15. Its low as 9, and it still looks pretty solid on the chart. So it hit up at that resistance at that 15. So watch for tomorrow if it can try to get moving again. I think it would have to get back up to the 12s to actually get rolling up. So if you see it in the morning trying to get back into the 12 cent area, LGMK, then look for it to try to get back over to that 15 and try to get over it. So that's what you're looking for on LGMK logic mark. And here we go with TRNR, interactive strength. This was up 6.5%. Looking at it last night, it was popping out of the basement. We liked it. The 20's coming down for it at the 15 cent area. This is at like 13.5. So TRNR looking good still. And we were looking at it last night and it still it looked good and it still looks good tonight. So look for that to go up tomorrow. TRNR, it's looking decent. XPON. This one was a little wild, huh? This had that reverse split. It ran up again today and almost got to the 20, not quite, and it still looks really good. It ran up to like 429. Did it run up a little higher than that? 608. That's what I thought. In the pre-market, it was up there. It opened at 446, got up to 608. Its low is 331, and now it's at what, 332 it says. So yeah, it came way back down here. So actually, we'll have to look at this one in the morning. It did get that run up, and the 20 was at that 444. So it did get that run over it to 608 this morning, which was basically right over to 50. So um obviously the FinViz isn't showing it, but mine and I know it did. So yeah, I would have to think that XPON just had its little run. So we'll have to watch that one again. But another one we were right on point with. LGHL, that Lion Group, this one pulled back a little bit. It ran up way up on Friday. And again, I said you have to make sure this one has that momentum going up. It could catch it tomorrow. So it might have had some healthy pullback today and just trying to get set back up after that big run up because, like I said, it ran up to like 41 cents on Friday. Uh, let me see what it run up to 42 cents. So it ran way up there and it's back at 20. So it was way up and I think it might try to bounce back up. I'm not sure it's going to get way back up there, but we'll look to see tomorrow if LGHL wants to bounce. So let me just mark that one and let's take a look at HOLO, HOLO down 18 cents. And like I've been saying, this thing is just going to pull back. It's curled through and it's just going to keep looking like the bottoms and it's going to be a disaster. And anyone that jumped in it at that 120 and then it split on them and now it's pulling back, they're just never going to see that price ever again. Unfortunately, that's sometimes how it works. And I did not tell people to jump in it at 120, obviously, but we know the story on that. And I'm just giving you an example because this bad boy is going to pull back and we'll watch it. We'll find that setup when it gets down to the bottom and run it back up because we've been hitting this thing. I mean, we perfectly hit it every single time, probably 5 or 6 times. So we'll do it again, but it just got to pull back now. And doesn't have much going for it at the moment. Easy go. This was trying to set up and looks really good actually. Um, I could see this bouncing tomorrow. As a matter of fact, easy go. Let me look at it in the after hours right here. Yeah, would it run up in the after hours? I bet. Opened at 105, got up to 116. It's sitting at 110. What's this one say? Um, Sitting at 105. Yeah, I think this one's going to get moving tomorrow. It looks like it wants to try to bounce, is exactly what it looks like it wants to try to do. So look for this. And if it's not tomorrow, it's getting set up to bounce very, very soon, is what it looks like. So I would look at Easy GO to try to bounce right there. So take a look at that bad boy. And here's our yin and our yang because I know they were doing what we wanted them to do today. The yin was dropping down $1.43 and it's just slowly going down there. And Looks like it was up 10 cents in the after hours. And again, they can't just collapse this thing. It would send China into a frenzy. So the Yang up 15 cents. It got up to what, 370, and it's sitting right. I mean, they just keep sitting. It's so perfect right on the 20. I mean, you can't sit it any more perfect. The Yang looks like it wants to continue to go up tomorrow. Has a weird look. I want to look at it in the after hours, but yeah, they just keep sitting it at the perfect spot. And yeah, the Yang looks like it wants to pop off of there tomorrow. I believe there's a reverse split coming on this bad boy on November 1st. So it's not something that you want to be involved with long term, but we weren't looking for it long term anyway. We liked it down here at the 239 when it hit that low, and now we're sitting in the 350s, almost 360 area. So this was never a long-term play. So I know a few people sent some messages and posted it, which I appreciate, is looking out. And that's why I'm just letting everybody know. That's what I was told. I didn't see that information, but a few people had mentioned it as I was posting it. So just beware of that. And I had no intentions of having it that long anyway. But here we go. We're rocking and rolling. And I think tomorrow you might get a pop on it. So let's look at that Yang in the morning and see what it's up to. And there's that Yin and the Yang and ASML. Let's take a look at that one, down $9 today. And again, we're just looking at this bad boy to when it wants to get set up. It's a huge dip. It was trading over 850, and they had that error the other day when they posted their earnings ahead of time, which was a huge mistake. It cost them like billions of dollars, I think. And here you go. It's still down there, and we'll wait for it to set up, and we'll check it out and see when it's ready. And I'll let you know. SVRE. Let's look at that one. That's Saver one, and that is at 12 cents. And just dragging that bottom right there, and it keeps looking like it keeps looking like it's a bottom, and it wants to reverse. Today does look like the bottom at 11 cents of 0.1120. Let me take a better look at this SVRE. And I think that we're going to see a little roll off action. So keep an eye. The 20's coming down. It's at 13 cents. So it's not far off. It's right there. It could easily. And this thing can get moving. The 50's at 17. And I could see it blasting through that at where it's at. So keep an eye on SVRE because that one's looking good. Excuse me. And SPRC. Let's look at that. SPRC. That was up another 6 cents today. And we've been looking at this. I know somebody was looking at it, and it was right there on that 20. I mean, it was sitting perfectly and got right to the 50. So it ran 22 to like over 29 and a half, and it's sitting at 29. So this could be a little momentum play in the morning, SPRC. So keep an eye on this. And we've been looking at it. It's been on the list for about 2 weeks now. So boom, there's another one could run up as a momentum. So keep an eye on that one, SPRC. And that's a nice hit for whoever kept looking at it. I'm trying to think. Was it Arusa? I think it's him or somebody who was looking at it. I know that. So nice hit for whoever had that one. HAO. Let's take a look at that bad boy. We were looking at it the other day. I think this one's going to wait for the 20 to come down at 26 cents. It's in the basement and it curled through. So I think that one has to get set up. So I'm just going to put like a little week notice near it so that we're not checking it out every day. And I'll just keep an eye on it, see when it gets set up there. SXTC. That's China SXT Pharmaceuticals. And this one's setting up in the right spot, guys. Take a look at this one. We were looking at the last few days. I know I looked at it today. I remember. And when as soon as I seen this set up, I was like, oh, yep, that's why it was on that list. But I think somebody asked about it as well, but I already had it on there. And SXTC, we looked at it the last few days, and it's getting ready to roll. So keep an eye on that bad boy, SXTC, and it looks pretty damn good. Um, it ran 64 to 69. It's sitting at 68, and it's got some resistance at 72, and it should get right through it. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. So watch this bad boy to try to get moving. tomorrow. LSB, let's look at Lakeshore Biopharma down 25 cents. And we were taking a look at this one to see what it wanted to do today. It was sitting on that line. Kind of impressed that it bounced down like this, but that should be its bottom right there. So keep an eye on this bad boy, Lakeshore Biopharma, another China biotech company. Let me see what it did on mine in the after hours. Yeah, it could definitely be a bottom right there. I'll look at it tomorrow. I don't think it wants to get into the basement. That look doesn't really look like a basement dweller, and it's already down there. I would look for a pop or a bounce, not a pop. I would look for a bounce. How I meant to say. So let me just mark that down. We'll look at this bad boy in the morning and see what direction it wants to go. And this one could be bouncing off, and that could be the bottom today. And again, we know that they are dipping and ripping, so you have to be a little patient on some of these. If they have them red looks, them candles, even though they're sitting in the right spot, you just have to be 100% sure that that thing's going in the right direction. So that's what we've been trying to do. And obviously, I look at them every day and we go through them. And if you're looking at any throughout the day and want me to check them out, just shoot them over to me because I'm checking everything out. And I definitely been trading, and it's been great. I mean, oh man, we're gonna rip it apart. And I had multiple people, I think I said this yesterday, and a couple more people today hit me up about the options. So I'll definitely put something together. Maybe I'll try to do like a special Saturday show or something and just discuss how I go about options. And again, I'm definitely no expert. I'm just kind of getting into it myself, but I can tell you my process, what I do. It's pretty, I think it's a safe thing to do, the safe way to do it. And I know you can. Um, shoot bigger, but I just been playing them safe and they've been working out great. I'm telling you right now, it's been money. So, and I love that they have the expiration because they force you to sell it. You don't even have to think about it. You're just like, all right, hit the price. Let's get out of this thing before bad boy expires on me and it goes down. So it's not even like you have to really push yourself to get the sell button, which again I explain is probably the hardest thing to do, and we all know that. So don't beat yourself up if you think you're the only one that has a hard time hitting that sell button when that price is going up because it is tough. So maybe I'll do a special Saturday show or something, but I'll put some notes together. I've been putting them together and I'll walk through that and answer any questions there. So there we go. But LSB, I would look for a bounce on that bad boy. And let's keep going here. That is LSB MLGO. That's another China company that was trying to curl up today. I think yeah, it did. It ran up a little bit. It opened up just under 33. No, it didn't run up. It went down. It was red. It's right there, though. I'm telling you, this thing looks like it wants to run up. MLGO. I thought it did go up a little bit, but it definitely didn't. Let me see. Opened at 31, went up to 33. Mine says it went up 2 cents. This one says it didn't. I don't know what the heck it did, but I saw it on the stock twit, so I thought it was up at 32 cents. Nothing crazy, but I just thought it was moving in the right direction. So it looks like it might have been. And again, I'm looking for the roll off on this bad boy. I think this is trying to get set up. That 20 is right there. Maybe it wants to just trade in that channel between pretty much its low 20, right, say 30 cents, right under 30 and 35. And today its low is 30 and its high was like 33. So right in that area right there, it could go up a little higher and see if that 20 and 50 want to meet up and send it off. So that's basically what I'm looking at on this one. And it did run already, and I think it might have potential for a second little run there. So we'll watch it. SURG, Surge Pays. I'm telling you, this one is getting ready, guys. So keep your eye on Surge Pays, SURG. I'm actually gonna have to take a real look at the. Oh yeah, it's really looking good in the after hours. It looks exactly how I thought it would kind of look, and I would expect this one to be moving. So take a look at SURG. I have a feeling that one's going to be going up. Very well tomorrow. It could be moving. So keep your eye on it. Bloom Energy BE did take that dip. We were looking at it, was right on that line. Couldn't tell, and that 20 did just kind of curl down on it almost looks like it would be a bottom, but it just curled down. So I'm assuming it's not. And I'm surprised it curled down. I didn't think it would. I thought it was going to bounce off with that look. So it definitely got me wrong because I probably said it was look for a little bounce off of there because still it looked like it would have, and it definitely didn't. And it definitely came down. Let me look on mine and see how much it's down right there. Yeah, I don't think it's going to pull itself back up. Actually, yesterday, now that I look at it, I can see it. It was just right there coming down, and I was saying, let's see if it'll pull itself back up. And it definitely did, and it pushed it way through. So it's not, but it wants to look like a bottom. I think it might have to pull back another day or so. So I'll look at that BE. It definitely looked better last week for sure. And we have some pullback on it. So we can find that at a good price. And again, that will actually bounce up pretty nice. So we will watch BE and get that bottom right there. And that's why it pays to be very patient and hit the ones that you're very confident in. And we know, I mean, we look at a lot of them, the setups, and you have to because you have to be a week or so out to just know when it's ready. You don't want to be caught that morning just finding them all. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. And I guess that's what the people that look for news we're always 3 weeks early. Our hardest thing is timing them out and trying to keep the list because we can have 100 of them that are set up and they're gonna run. It's just a matter of timing them out. But again, you play the ones that you're confident in, that you like the charts, and you just nail them. You trade them smart. WBD Warner Brothers came down 27 cents, and this is setting up bullish. And now the 20 came pushing it down. It was about to curl through, and it's coming back down. I guess it's going to come back down to that 731 and probably have a bounce. And I'm going to look at it there because it'll have a nice little bounce real quick. And Warner Brothers in the sevens, and it usually trades around the eights for the most part, and or even higher. So. I think you're going to see a bounce off of Warner Brothers, and we shall get that bounce, and we'll look for it when it's getting down there. And that's WBD Warner Brothers, LUXH Lux Urban Hotels. This was up a little bit, and this one's curling up. I think this one's going to get moving, guys. It's about to curl through. The 20's coming down. It's up a little bit at 6, but this is at 5, say 5.5, over 5.5. It's a penny stock. Let's put it that way, but it is looking good to try to crawl through and run. So this is one we were looking at for a while. It did run back on like in September. I know we were looking at it back then, and then it ran again in the beginning, like in October 11th. It ran not too long ago, about a week or so ago, I remember. And now it looks like it's setting up to try to crawl through for real. So keep your eye on LUXH because that one looks like it wants to get moving right there. And ALBT is at Avalon Globo Care. This ran up today. It did get that bounce off. It rolled off. I didn't think this one was going to crawl through, and it didn't. It rolled off. It did pop up. It went from 18 to 30. It didn't even go up higher. I meant to post this one and I forgot about it. Yeah, like 17 cents to 30 cents. It closed at 21. Did have that big run up, but it still looks like it might have momentum. ALBT. And this is another one that we were looking at for a while. And boom, it was setting up, and there you go. It ran up today. And that's that one I kept saying I thought was a flooring company, and yet it's a real estate company, ALBT, Avalon Globo Care. And it did pop. And like I said, it looks like it wants to continue to move up. Came back down to 20 after it ran up to 30. So see if it keeps that momentum in the morning, and that will be another runner. ALBT right there. Let's take a look at MAXN right now. That was up 3 cents max and just kind of flat right there. I think this might have to wait for that 20 after the split at 718. I don't even know if it can. Hold on, that might roll off. Let me look at MAXN real quick on mine, get a better. Oh yeah, that does want to roll off. I was gonna say, hold on a second. Um, Maxon actually might have a little roll off action, so keep an eye on this tomorrow for a little roll off because it could have that. And if it has a roll off, it's gonna actually get moving to 20. Like I said, that's 718. Maybe it tries to roll up to that, and that'll be its resistance right there. So we'll keep an eye on MAXN. ABVE. Now this one's setting up. It's up 2 cents, up a little bit in the after hours. I saw this one. It looks like it wants to bounce there. It's trying to get curled up. And another one. We were looking at this for a long time. As a matter of fact, this is the one that actually like tipped me off for the most part, with that whole look. And our 20 is at 55 and a half, and we've been waiting for it. Now we're at 52, like almost 53, right there. And boom. So this one's gonna run. We should all thank ABVE, above food ingredients, because this one was really bothering me. It was set up like I remember a couple weeks ago, and it was just driving me nuts because it wouldn't run. And then, like I said, I broke that chart down to figure out what was going on, and that's what kind of tipped me off to that look. And I would say ever since we figured that out and really kind of tweaked our scanners, and I looked at it for a week. How on fire have we been? I mean, have anybody ever seen so many poppers ever? I mean, seriously, does anyone follow anyone that gives out this many poppers? How's it going, Miss Confidential, Miss Config X? How are you this evening? Just hopping on there. But yeah, who follows somebody that gives out this many poppers and just reads these charts so accurately? And I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you what we do. And again, ABVE was the one that kind of gave me that look. So I'm kind of thanking ABVE is what I'm doing, because if it wasn't for that one, we might not have been this on fire, because they were very confusing. And again, you got to pick up on patterns and things of that. And the chart, this market was everywhere. It was probably running like this for the last 3 years. It took us to the very end to figure it out, but I'll tell you what, it's been fun. I can say that. So it's better late than never. So let's keep rolling and find what else is popping so we can keep on nailing them, because it's great. But yeah, ABVE, that one kind of alerted me, and it looks like it's about to fire up. So everybody, let's all get behind that and say, let's go ABVE. And BMRA Biomerica. This one actually got a really nice hard like support line down there now, just kind of just drew right in there. And this one, I'm telling you, this one I think rolls off this time and rolls. So BMRA. I think this time it tries to roll. It was pulling back a little bit today. I have a feeling it's going to try to straighten itself out tomorrow and try to get rolling. So keep an eye on this one, because that setup just got a little bit better on BMRA. I can't even say it. So BMRA, Biomerica, it is looking a little bit better today than it was yesterday. So I would keep an eye on that bad boy as well. How about HUT? This one keeps running up. We were talking about it, and now it's getting right to that top. And it very well possibly could get into the top and run. Opened at 435, ran up to 1552. So nice little run today, and it's been running up there, so it could get be a nice little momentum play in the morning still. So keep your eye on HUT. I'm just looking at it on mine real quick, and yeah, there's nothing that looks like it wants to come down. We'll look at crypto, see how that's working out today, but it doesn't look too bad there. SST. This one was looking pretty damn good last night. I remember it was setting up. We just wanted to see what it was doing. It pulled back to that line. I think today could be its bottom. Let me look at this tomorrow and see if it's getting ready to try to bounce off or roll off here. SST. Let me see this bad boy. Yeah, it's coming down. Let me keep a mark on this to look at it. Um, I want to see what that wants to do, so don't jump in it, but I'll look at it. TPST, and again, we look at a bunch of them, so I know we go through like 140 sometimes now, even more than that. And obviously, you don't want to trade them all. No one does, but it's great practice to look at the setups, to hear what I'm saying. You'll get to see the visuals, and but also just to have that list. I mean, I've been making these watch lists, handwriting them. That's why I still do it like this. And you see my list every day. I've been doing this for over 20 years, just like this. Obviously, I think now I look at more than I ever did, but that's a great thing. It's not a problem. I enjoy it. and it keeps me on my game. But it's exactly what I do. You listen to the show and listen to what I say. You can tell which ones I get excited about. You can tell which ones are going to be moving. You make your list and you go through it, and you minimize them down to about six or seven, then you go from there, and boom, you just figure out which ones are running. But all of these get set up, and that's why we look at them. And then I keep obviously been making pretty decent notes lately, so we've been trying to keep on them. One or two have been slipping through the cracks, but not many, and we've been kind of nailing them lately. So I figure we will continue to do this, and exactly like I've been saying back in the summertime, I was telling you how it was going to work out. What I say around October, what I say Halloween and the holidays are going to be good, and no one can complain right now, that's for sure. So let's roll TPST. Let's look at it and see. It was pulling back a little bit. It did run up last week, and I think it's just going to try to get down to this bottom. And all these lines are going to set up right here, TPST. So let me just see real quick. Yeah, let it pull back a little bit more on here. And you couldn't really tell yesterday or Sunday what it wanted to do. But I have a feeling it wants to pull back a little bit more. And then we'll get it set up, TPST. And we'll get that one rolling at the right time. INKT, that Mink Therapeutics was up a little bit today. And this one was just crossing through, but trying to get in the right spot. Watch this one. If it can get up to that 72, and it did today, it got up over 72 today, and that's where you want it to get to, and it can get rolling. So this thing, INKT, you want to keep an eye on this. It looks pretty good. Let me see in the after hours, INKT. Yeah, it should get moving up to that 76 and then see what it can do. So I would keep an eye on that if it can get moving in the morning. INKT. And let's look at KTTA. I know we looked at this last night. Oh, this is going to be that big old fish hook one. So look for this to bounce around like they all do. And obviously, if you like these bad boys, you know what it's going to do. It's going to start moving as it starts curling up. It's going to run around. It's always a great trade, but just make sure you get out because you usually opens up the next day lower than the day before it closed. So just make sure you're prepared. But this thing is getting ready to curl up, and the 20's even trying to curl up on it. So KTTA, I'm going to keep my eyes on that one to see exactly. And again, when we get curled up a day out, right around there. So I'll keep an eye on that. CNEY. Oh, this one's getting set up. A little bit of pullback today, but just sitting in that right spot. Let me look on mine. CNEY. This one's looking pretty solid, guys. So keep an eye on this one. It is right there. I don't even know why it pulled back today, to be completely honest. And maybe it wants to pull back down here to 56 cents. I don't think so. But let me look at it tomorrow. But I would expect this one to start moving up, CNEY. So I'm going to watch that one because that one could be a really nice bounce off right there. And let's look at AUUD. AUUD was setting up real nice and just kind of flat today, but again, just right in the right spot. The 20's under it, and it's got a nice line over it. So let me see what it did in the after hours. And we've been looking at this one. I know it ran up last week to 74, and I think it's going to try to get curled back up to get moving again even higher. So watch for it to get up onto that 70, 71. It ran up in the after hours. Well, mine says it went down to 66. Finvis says it's at 70. And again, they're all over the place. So let me see. AUD. Let me see. 66. Which one was right? Mine? Yeah, mine. It says I looked on Webbull. So I'll have to look at it if that has that pullback right there. But I don't think it's anything terrible on AUD. It could easily get bouncing up there tomorrow. It's in the right spot right there. So I'll look at that in the morning, and that is AUUD, and that's been on the list for a little while. ALZN, this one was looking decent to try to curl up. I know that, and it started to today. It opened at 172, got up to 173, got down to 164, and it's at 173. So not a whole lot, but it moved up, but it is setting up to try to move. I'll tell you that. Let me see what volume has, real quick. 162,000. Yeah, I mean it's right there. The 20 wants to pull it up. The 50's not far off at 209. So it can move from like the 170s over to 2. So ALZN, that looks like it wants to try to move right there as well. And let's look at ANTX. This one was looking pretty damn well as pretty damn good as well. And it's at 108, up 3 cents. And yeah, it's in the perfect spot right there. Keep your eyes on this one. ANTX in the morning. This one you want to keep an eye on. What it do? 106 to 112. Closed at 105. And it's sitting right there in the right spot. I want to keep an eye on it, that's for sure. So keep an eye on ANTX, AN2 Therapeutics. So not looking bad at all. I mean, it's right in that right spot where the 50 just cut it, the 20's underneath, and it is curling up. So I think it looks decent right there. BTM is at Bitcoin Depot, the Bitcoin Depot. Yeah, Bitcoin Depot. There you go. That's its new name. Just kind of hanging just flat today, but the 20 is right there. I mean, it looks really good, and this thing should get moving relatively soon. BTM, so just a little healthy pullback. I don't think anything crazy, so we'll keep an eye on that one. EONR, let's look at that up 2 cents. This one's looking good to curl off. I know I was looking at this today. Keep your eye on this bad boy tomorrow. EONR. This one looks like it wants to roll off and get moving. So keep your eyes on EONR because we'll watch that one, the roll off right there. And it's got some hard resistance at 154. It's at like 140 in the after hours, but it is looking good and it can get right through that as well. HCTI, Healthcare Triangle. Let's see. It curled through, just kind of running flat, but right in the right spot. Another one can run up to 51. It's at 46, 45 and a half and could easily get moving right there. Um, what do I mean when I say roll off? I'm talking about when it comes down to the MACD line and it just kind of rolls off that MACD line right there. So that's what I'm looking at when I say it rolls off. And lately they've been kind of rolling off the 20, but more or less I'm always talking about that MACD line and you'll see them come down. And which one I just let me get a good example real quick was ANTX. Was I just saying that was just rolling off? Hold on, let me just take a quick look. Yeah. And so this one's like basically hovering above. And lately, what they've been doing, and this is like the craziest thing ever that, and I've explained it prior, but let me explain it again. We have a lot of new people listening, and I greatly appreciate it. So let me just break it down real quick. So thank you for the question. And yeah, so these bad boys lately haven't been running like a normal market like for 20 something years that I've seen it. And now you get them, you generally look for these MACDs to try to cross through and your RSIs to get curling up and get out of the basement around the same time. And you almost knew you had a popper. And now you wouldn't get like 100 of them doing it a day, but you can kind of seek them out on the scanners and then find the setups that you like. Again, just like we're doing here. Well, in this last couple of years in this market, we now have these things crossing through the MACD. Well, we'll go back before they cross through. They get set up because I was talking about that big fish hook. So that's what I'm talking about. They come all the way down as a big dip, and then they just kind of move sideways, and then they finally have to get curled up to get moving back up. And I call it a big fish hook. I don't know, and I always say I don't know any of the real terms. I just make up my own terminology. I'm just self-taught, so I don't really I just know what I'm looking at on a chart. That's all I know. And again, this has been a hobby of mine for over 20 years that just kind of, rolled into financial freedom and into the show and just I just did it. So that's why I tell you, everybody can learn them. And again, over the 20 years, I've realized that really knowing how to read the charts this well isn't that important. You don't have to get crazy like I have. I was always just fascinated with learning the charts and just that's all I just loved it because again, I would be able to see like the economy and everything right ahead of time and without even trading back then. And it was just something cool to me. And then I realized obviously if you really want to be prosperous in this thing, you better learn how to trade. And that's really the hardest aspect of it is it's your emotions. And we talk about it and I discuss it all the time, but again, that's why I talk about trading smart and zeroing in. So that's a normal market. But yeah, our MACD would usually crawl through and you would roll. Now they crawl through and they run up off the MACD line and keep going up. The RSIs keep going up. And these things just pull back as you watch these things go up. It's like nothing you ever seen before. It's like out of a movie. It's kind of crazy. So now we have these looks where these MACDs are running up. For example, ANTX, if you look at it, it crossed through back here in like August 28th, basically August 29th. And for the most part, just kind of went down and rode flat. And now, and you can just see how it just kind of ran flat right there, tries to roll off a few times. And now we figured out our look and kind of zeroed in on these things where exactly all the parameters have to be in the exact same spots, or not in the same spots, in the exact perfect locations for any of these things to really start moving. And that's why when we tweaked the scanners and really started to get a whole different list, basically, we started finding every single popper, not just one or two here and there. We started finding every one of them because these were the only ones that could run. And when I was talking about ABVE earlier, that we were looking at for like 2 months. It was just set up for so long, and every day it could have just popped. And I just kept looking at it, just shaking my head, going, what is going on with this thing? And then that wasn't the only one. There was a whole handful of them that were just set up perfectly, and that we would be going through for like 2, 3 weeks. And I'm just like, I don't get why these things aren't running. Like, this is the weirdest thing ever. I've never seen anything like it. So I took ABVE because it was just driving me nuts. And I was like, what is the one thing? What's wrong with this chart? And the only thing that I could notice was like, and I've never looked at it before, the SMA 20. And I'm like, it just kind of looks like it's pushing down. And then I just started after I said it, I just kind of started looking at more charts. Obviously, every day we look at a ton. And then as I said that, it kind of started jumping out at me, looking at that line, what it was doing to these things. And I was like, well, I don't even have, I built my own charts and scanners. I don't even have the SMA 20 on it, like when I built them. So it was never an important thing to me, obviously. And, and yeah, we picked up on that bad boy. So yeah, rolling off. So now these things are basically rolling off of that 20. You see the 20 curl up underneath of it and it kind of pushes it up. Or the MACD line, again, they cross through and they just keep running up, but yet the price keeps going down. And then they'll kind of go up and come back down. And without crossing over, so the black line will be over your red line usually. If you look at FinViz, that's how it's set up. Um, your black line will just roll right off of it. And when you see that look, you'll generally get them to start moving like that. Again, every single parameter has to be set up on these. So you do get a lot of them before because these are crossed through. For example, back on right here on October 11th, it was trying to roll off. It looked good, but then it just kind of went flat. And then today, finally, it looks like it really wants to try to do it. And again, it's like in the perfect spot. It has to be in the perfect spot where it has to drop PR for these things to really be bouncing around and moving. And we just happen to tweak the scanners now. And Laptop Travel's done a great job, honestly. He's on point, sends me a ton of lists, and we go through them. And so everyone should thank him because he puts in a lot of time as well. And yeah, we just kind of tweaked it together and he tweaked his scanner, I was tweaking mine and just seeing what we were seeing. And I talked to him and kind of explained it. And then we just kind of the last 3 weeks, I mean, we just kind of crushed everything in sight. I mean, we've seen everything and we were seeing them before, but not like this. And again, it was just finding that pattern. And now it's really just zeroing in on exactly the timing of them. And we've been doing them pretty well. Again, the list today, there was probably over 10 of them today that ran pretty well. and pretty significantly, and a few of them over 100%. So you can see we're definitely on point, but that's what I'm talking about, that roll off. And I know I said I'd upload them videos last night. I was exhausted after last night's show. I'm definitely feeling good. The weekends kill me, I'm telling you. Just running around and doing the show Sunday night, I got exhausted. And then today I just ran out of time, but they're already set up and everything. I'm just going to set the time. So I'll put them up tonight for sure. So you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That roll off is the MACD. And I'll actually even do like a quick little video about it and just show you what I mean. But good question right there for others that, again, ton of new people. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And go ahead and ask anything. I'm gonna fly through some more of these because we got quite a nice list. And again, we got so many of them set up. It's just crazy. You can just pick them, whatever ones you want. So I'll just kind of fly through, tell you where you're looking, what you're looking for, and we'll nail them. So there we go with that. And let me just keep on cruising here. Let me look at that HCTI. I think we just looked at that one. That was the one I was looking at. And KITT is in aerospace and defense. And this one I was looking at today. I actually went through another list that I from a couple weeks ago, and a couple of these were looking good. This one was actually looking better today, and it's not looking as good as it closed. So KITT, I mean, it's not looking terrible. Just had a little pullback look, but I'll keep an eye on 20s underneath of it. It was looking great on Friday. Let's put it that way. It probably could have closed a different way today, but that's fine. It's a little flat and not bad. So we'll keep an eye on KITT. KLTO. This one started to run up, was hitting some resistance, just a little pullback. Looks like it's a little healthy right there. Let me look at it. KLTO. KLTO. Yeah, just a little healthy pullback. Should continue its way up. Not looking bad there. NCI, this one was on our list before. This one ran like a maniac. Another probably potential momentum run in the morning. So keep an eye on this. It what it run up to. Let me see. I know it ran pretty well today, that's for sure. It opened at 99, got up to 180, and it's sitting at 160. So again, check this out in the morning because it could be a momentum play. It could be running up still, and you can easily catch that momentum on that NCI. So that was another popper we were looking at. CDIO started to move. It was up like 2 cents, curling up. We were just looking at it, and this one's looking good. So keep your eye on this cardio diagnostics. It is looking pretty nice right there. And that is CDIO. So yeah, it's curling up there. Could have a nice little run up there tomorrow. And the 50 is at 30, and this is at like 22 and a half. So that one's looking solid. And that railroad RVSN looks like it's about to take off, guys. I saw this today and I was like, ooh, this is in the right spot, curling through. And when I say curling through, I mean it's about to crawl through that MACD. This one should get right through tomorrow. And the 20 and 50 are meeting up, and it looks like it wants to take off. So RVSN looking good right there, the Rail Vision. So there you go with RVSN. So keep your eye on that. Let's look at Z-Car real quick and see what that's up to. A couple of these are way down, so I'll fly through some of these. I popped a bunch of these on here. And again, I was going through some lists. That's why the list is so long. And I'll fly through some of these bad boys so we can get done. And it's only I just threw a ton of them in less than like just over an hour, and I talked. So I'll fly right through this side, that list with no problem. I basically know all these anyway from today, so we can cruise, just take some notes, and I'll let you know. And I'm taking my notes, so we'll know exactly what looks good. Z-Car was a great dip. We looked at it before. I'm looking at it, just got into the basement. I want to see if it wants to get out of the basement tomorrow, which I don't think it does. And or obviously stay in there and we'll find it when it wants to come out. So I'll look at that. I don't think it wants to come out tomorrow, so I doubt it'll bounce, but I'll just take a quick look. NUCC, this one was just kind of jumping around and dipping down pretty hard. So I was looking at that today to add to that list. And like I said, some of these are going to get added to my other list where I look at them down the road and just take a peek at them during the day and add them back when they're looking good. So same case with MGPI, and I just kind of was sitting here looking at a ton of stuff and adding them to this, so that's why they're on here for tonight. So MGPI, another really nice dip. I mean, it was just in the 80s and now it's at 58.66. I don't know what the hell happened here, but something crazy happened. And so I'll keep that one on my list to keep an eye when it's ready. ORGS. This one looks like it could have a little bit of bounce. This one actually split and then it went way down. ORGS. So yeah, I'm gonna look at this to see if it had that crazy look today. Like, actually, that's Friday. Then this one might have delisted. Now that I look at it, that's why it looks so weird. All right, yeah, it's got it. No, wait, that's today, right? I don't freaking know. I'll look at this again. I can't even tell if it's today or not. I think it is. No, it's not. It says the 18th. There's no way it's today. I'm like, wait a second. It's definitely not today. Today's definitely the 21st. This one might have delisted or something. So I'll have to take a look at that bad boy and see what the heck's going on with ORGS. Let me look at it and mark it down. Just throwing me off there with that. You can kind of tell when the days aren't the same and or the right day. I don't know. It just looks odd to me. GV is another one that looked like it was going down and all the way down to that bottom, possibly going to be a setup in a week or two. So I'll keep an eye on that. This one is going to be crazy. Val. I know we looked at this before. Val Resorts, MTN. Nice dip here and setting up super bullish. It's down at 167 and it's setting up super bullish in like the 180s to run up into the 200s again. So I'm going to keep my eye on MTN and that's Val. And as the winter approaches, you know that that bad boy is going to get rolling because they own like almost every mountain. So they have the Epic Pass and all that good stuff. So we'll keep an eye on that and rock and roll with that one. SANA. This one's just setting up really nice. Had a little pullback. Keep an eye on this bad boy. This one could get popping because it's set up beautifully right there, and it had almost a million in volume. I don't rem We definitely looked at it. It was on one of the lists before a couple weeks ago, and it's looking pretty good. SOUN was down 11 cents. It's been running up and it still looks pretty solid. So just was hitting the top and pulling back. I'd have to look at it. Looked a little better earlier. So I'll keep an eye on that. And like I said, a lot of these bad boys are not even going to make the list tomorrow. They just happen to make it tonight just so I could determine where they were going real quick. But this one's looking good. And here goes your big fish hook, XTIA. This one's curling up big time. Not actually curled up yet, but it's about to. And it's trying to curl up out of the basement at the same time. Our 20's up here at 15 cents. We're at like 11 and a half. So not too far off. And XTIA is at Aerospace and Defense. We looked at it before. It's looking pretty nice right there. So keep your eyes on that bad boy. I think this one could even get moving tomorrow if it wanted to. So keep your eyes on XTIA. That could be cruising. NNVC. This one looked pretty decent too. It was just like kind of pulling back a little bit today, but it was looked like it's trying to set up. So we'll keep an eye on this in the next few days. It looks like it's trying to set up right there. NNVC. So we'll watch that one, see if it is, and I'll let you guys know. Think we did VCIG already. VCI Global, yeah, it was curling up right there, looking good. So we already did that one. I know that. ENVB, that was up 9 cents today, down two in the after hours, but looked pretty damn good. This was on our list before and was obviously moving today. Could keep a little momentum tomorrow, so keep an eye on this one. It looks pretty solid to try to. So ENVB, shame I didn't look at it yet last week because it looked like it was in the perfect spot right there. But another one we had looked at jumped up today, no big deal. OCGN. I saw this one today was it wants to get set up. It's curled through the 20s coming down for it. It keeps touching it the last couple days at 96. This is at 94. So within a few days, this one's going to be looking much better. OCGN and should get rolling. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And I traded that one a long time ago. So there's OCGN. And what else was on there? S dot. I think we might have even looked at this, that Satic group. Yeah, this we looked at it already, but it's about to crawl through tomorrow. Should continue up. We looked at it last night on the split and knew it was going up, and it did today. So that one made the list twice. TANH. This one was looking good today, starting to cruise right there, up 2 cents. But what did it get up to? It opened at 18, got to 22. It closed around like 21, 20, but looking really good. So keep your eye on TANH in the morning because I think this one's going to keep cruising up as well. So that one's looking good. And I know I had sent that one out. IVP, remember this one was on the list for a while right there. This was like that veterinarian one, IVP, Inspire and Veterinarian Partners. And this one's in a perfect spot and ran today. So went from 24 cents to 98 cents. And we were looking at it way down here in the 20s and 30s. So this one ran like a maniac. IVP 26 to 98 and then closed at 40. Its low is 25. So I guess it probably opened, but still looks pretty good tomorrow, honestly. So keep an eye on that if it can continue its way up. Again, catch some more momentum. IVP, but we were super early on that bad boy as well. And PIXY up 56 cents. This one recently split and kind of just popped up there. It was a 1 for 15 on the 14th, and then it ran up on the 17th to 13 or $14. It's at 8. It pulled back, but it looks really good to try to get up there again. So keep your eye on Pixie. I don't know. Most of them don't do this, but this one looks like it's really good. In the after hours on my chart, looks great. So keep your eye on PIXY in the morning because that one looks really good. And NUZE, let's look at that. I know we looked at it the other day, and it was running up. And let's just see, it's pulling back a little bit. I'm not so sure that it really wants to reverse just yet. And again, it did run up a lot. So I'll look at that in the morning, just see if it's trying to build a base up here at 160s to try to run up again, but I'm not so sure. Tomorrow it is, so I'll keep an eye. OKLO, I mean, that one ran like a maniac, and we were looking at this before it was on a laptop lowdown list, and I had actually posted it out. Um, Ran up pretty big today. It opened at 1937, got up to almost 23. It closed in the 22 area. It's way in the top, obviously. If it's still running in the morning, it's a momentum play early, but other than that, this thing should be pretty much toast. And but it's okay because that thing ran like crazy. OKLO, and that one was a big runner right there. WULF, the other wolf, Terra Wolf, and this one ran up. We had run up the WOLF last week, and now the WULF wants to run this week. So both wolves are running, and this one should get up into the top tomorrow and continue to run. So WULF, Terra Wolf, I would look for that as a momentum play in the morning. Let me see what it did in the after hours. Yeah, looking solid for a momentum right there. So keep your eye for that one in the morning. And that is the WULF, that wolf. And GRI, this one continued to run up today. It was running up the other day on Friday. And then today it really gapped up because it closed on Friday at what, 58? And then today it opened at 167, got to 179. It came back down to 132. And I think it came down even lower in the after hours. Let me see where it's at. But 113, and yeah, just one of them ones that popped up again. GRI, had it on the list, knew it was going, and bam, there you go. So there's another big popper. CLEU, Clue. This is a China education and training services. I've traded this one before. I think I even said the story about how these things had gone way down, and we were talking about it. This thing's trying to make that hard curl back up, and looks like it's going to succeed. So I'd say once it gets to over that, say 30 cents, because it's yeah, say once it gets to 30 cents, it's going to pop. It's in the 29s. It's at the very high 29 end that it has to get to. And this one's looking really solid. Let me see. CLEU. Yeah, it's looking pretty good to me right now. So keep your eye on that bad boy in the morning because that looks like it wants to run HSDT. What is this one? Helios Medical Technologies up 3 cents, sitting in a good spot and curling up right there. I'd say this one looks good too, HSDT. Oh, yeah, that one's running tomorrow. HSDT, that's going up tomorrow. So keep your eye on that bad boy as well. That one's looking really good. And SXTP, 60 degrees pharmaceuticals down 2 cents. This one's setting up down the road. I'll keep my eye on it because it is setting up. The 20s coming down for it. I'd say about a week out. So let me just keep an eye on that out on that one. TOVX, let's look at that one down a penny, up four in the after hours, and this one's getting to be in the right spot right there. I can tell you that. In the next few days, this one's going to be great. So just watch for them bottoms, guys. TOVX, this one's going to be moving. Has to just get over that 169. It's at 152, and it is looking pretty solid right there, TOVX. So I would keep an eye on that bad boy. Let me give that a quick mark right there because that's looking good to get set up as well. And that's TOVX, INAB. Let's see it up 20 cents. Oh, this one ran up from bottom to top in the last, well, Friday and today. See if it keeps that momentum in the morning. INAB, that one's definitely a cruiser, huh? INAB just got soaring. And honestly, it could run up into that 63. Where did it stop at? 44, 43. It could run a little bit more in the morning. So watch for this one. That could be a momentum play. INAB. Um, Let me just mark that one. INAB momentum right there. ABCL. Let's look at that. ABCL. Let's see that one. It was starting to run up last week. I do remember looking at it because someone mentioned it and I had commented on it, ABCL, and it did run up, pulling back today. It did run up higher though, so it did get up 292 Friday 289. See if it's just some healthy pullback as it's running up there. Doesn't look bad to me, so I could see it trying to pop back up ABCL. I'll look at it again and see what I think tomorrow. UK, this one was setting up. It was up 4 cents, maybe a little more, 124 to 135. And yeah, this thing's getting ready to pop, guys. UK. I know we were talking about this the other day as well, and this one's getting ready to move. So keep your eye on UK. Only had 109,000 in volume, but that's not everything. It was cross through flat, but looking good there. Looks good all here. So keep your eye on that bad boy, setting up really nice. GPLS. Oh, what is that one? Hold on. GPLS. No, I don't know what I wrote down there. Huh. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, so I'll have to go back and look if someone knows what that is supposed to be. Just let me know. SGHT, I'll have to go and look. Sight Sciences down 45 cents. Just trading between this channel here. I think this one's going to cross down. Um, that's what it kind of looks like. I don't know if it's going to bounce right there. Let me look on mine, see what this did in the after hours. That's GHT. Hold on. Yeah, I think this crosses back down and pulls back a little bit more. So I'll keep my eye on it and see, and then watch for that to set up. Let me just keep mark this one so I know. And MBIO, let's see that Mustang Bio is up 7 cents. Oh, this one could, oh, that one's going to run up into the top. 21 cents and ran up. Let me see what it did in the after hours. MBIO. Opened at 22, got up to 30, and that's where it's sitting. I would watch for this one to be a momentum play. This one could run like a Mustang in the morning, and that is Mustang Bio, MBIO. And I would watch that one for a momentum play. I might as well knock out the rest of that list, and I'll do the big cappers and the crypto and hit the here. Let me just check out and see messages real quick, see what we're looking at. Um and I know I'll post up all the charts real quick. I know Laptop Travel, I just looked, he posted a bunch of the charts, and I just was trying to fly through real quick because we had so many. So I appreciate that, but I'll definitely repost them. IONQ, Jennifer Lee. That one's a good one because that one is trending and was moving today. And we looked at that one about a week or two ago. I don't know if it was you that brought that one up, but someone did, and it was setting up. I forgot all about it, and I saw it trending on StockTwits today, and I was like, I remember looking at that one. And yeah, I mean, it's run up into the top. I'd be careful. It opened at 13.22, got up to like 15.23, but it's been running. I mean. I'll start it here and say that it started running on October 8th at $9 and it's been running. So I would be careful with that. Obviously, it could be a momentum play in the morning. I would expect it to pull back. It's still setting up to be bullish back here, but I think it has to pull back and make some space. So IONQ. That was a good one that was running that we did look at as well. And Arusa, that was you. I remember SPRC. And so yeah, that was a nice smash right there. I remember you were asking me about that one for the last couple weeks now, and finally it got rolling for you and SPRC. And like I said, I would look for that to try to run up a little more tomorrow. And boom, I know we have a bunch of charts. I'll post them out as well. So let me just see if and let me know if anybody else wants to see anything SHLS. And I'll bust through the rest of these. We'll look at the big caps and the Mag 7, the memes real quick, and crypto. We'll knock out everything in the next half hour with no problem. And I'll post some videos up for you guys so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And and then I'll just post them daily for you. So we'll get it rolling and then I'll continue to post some of the back ones. I still have to edit a few of them, but I have most of them done and we'll get that up. So there you go. Let me look at SHLS for you. Shoals Technology 505. Seems that it ran. Oh, it wants to curl up right there, huh? Let me see exactly what this did. SHLS on my end. 584 to 622. It's back to 520. So it's lower there than and I mean, this is, to be honest, Jennifer Lee, this is one of them cases that it looks like it was like a day out and it had that pop. And is it going to keep that momentum tomorrow? I'm not exactly sure. It could even cross through and not do it just because we know that look. That's exactly what it looks like to me. It looks like if we had known. Um, and again, we've been basically tracking some of these ones that are crawling like this, like trying to get them from about a day out. And you can see why, because that's when they start popping. It's not the traditional as it crosses through and everything rolls up. That's not when they're popping. So I'm gonna say be careful on this one. Watch it tomorrow. See if it can obviously go up in price as it tries to curl through there. So we just know that and when they curl through right now, they're not always moving. So did have over 7 million, almost 8 million in volume. I can look at it in the morning for you. I just wrote it down. SHLS. I'll take a look at it. I'm kind of interested anyway. So we'll take a look at that. And let's look at the rest of these bad boys real quick. ABLV. And anyone else that wants to see anything, let me know real quick. And I'll look at the other one for you, Jennifer. Hold on. ABLV, I'll check this one. Able View Global. And I know a lot of these bad boys are about to roll right there. This one's, I mean, on the 20 as perfect as you can be. So ABLV, I already looked at it real quick and it was looking really nice right there. Just make sure that it's continuing its way up tomorrow and it should be real solid. AEHR. I don't think we ever looked at this, but it was up 5 cents and it looks like it's in a pretty good spot right there. And better yet, it's setting up pretty bullish down the road. But yeah, it looks like it's, I mean, just a little flat there, but let's see. Try to get over right there, 1573. I mean, it is right there. I mean, it looks like it wants everything is trying. It's flat here. This is another one I'd rather look at in the morning, but I would assume it's trying to bounce up there. Not saying it can't pull back. It did in the after hours a little bit, but I mean, it's right there. It looks solid. And if it does pull back, it's just setting up to go higher. And let me write this one down as well. AEHR. just because I can't get an exact look. But if I had to guess, I'd say it tries to bounce up a little higher tomorrow. But I'd rather look at that bad boy. So here we go. CHEK check cap. Let's look at it real quick and see what it's up to. It was setting up. I know that. It was curling up, looking real good. That 20's coming right there. And this one looks like it's going to get moving very, very soon. Let's put it that way. I would say in the next day or so. It opened at 142. It got up to 148, and it's looking good. Only had like 6,000 in volume, and it's still going to get moving there. And we proved with that Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. I didn't even look at that. Um, Holy shit, it went up even more, guys. It's up 16 more cents to 241. Remember, this thing has like 21,000 in volume. Um, it's had as low as like 16, 9,000, and it was still moving. So the obviously, the volume doesn't dictate everything, and if you want to see a roll off, look at this thing. It kind of almost crossed down right here the other day. I remember saying I think it was probably done on the 17th, and then it came back on Friday and bounced up, and then today it bounced up even higher. So yeah, things at 241 right now. And remember, we were looking at it down here in like the 190, so maybe even lower. I don't exactly remember, but there you go with the Rocky Mountain RMCF. I wouldn't check. It looks like it almost wants to get into the top. I told you they had some good chocolate going on, and one with no volume. We stuck with it, and it continually moved up with no problem right there. So that just proves that the volume isn't everything. So keep an eye for the setups because I like the setups more than volume, that's for sure. CISS, this one kind of pulled back. Let me see it on mine real quick. Yeah, I think this one's gonna have to pull back a little bit. We'll see if it wants to hit that MACD and try to bounce back off. So I'll keep an eye on that bad boy. CXAI, this was up 3 cents, and that one's sitting in a really good spot. Keep an eye on CXI. Hold on, CXAI. I guess I do a lot of charts. My brain just starts getting fried here. But yeah, this one's great. Keep an eye on it. I'm gonna put a little asterisk next to that. CXAI. That one's looking real good. How about FAMI? FAMI. Let's see what that bad boy's doing. Um, yeah, that RMCF did bounce right on. It kind of pulled down just a hair, but more or less bounced right off that MACD that day. I was like, be careful because it looked like it was pulling back and it just wanted to bounce off of there. But again, they run up, but we basically knew that one was going up, and that even had no volume, that RMCF. But let's look at Family here at 30 cents, sitting in a good spot. It did run up on Friday, pulled back a little bit today, and I think it's just trading between that channel right there, like the 27 and 30. We'll have to see how this opens up tomorrow, more or less. I got to look at it on mine real quick in the after hours. Yeah, it might pull back a little bit, but it did run up and it might get set up again. So we'll keep an eye on FAMI Farm FARM Farmer Brothers. This one was setting up. I remember looking at it. And yeah, I think these brothers have something going on right now on their farm because it's a packaging company, but it looks really, really good. So keep your eye on Farm, FARM, because that one's looking good. It's packaged foods in the US and it's looking pretty solid. FRGT, Freight Technologies. This one bounced up Friday, came down. It looks like a little healthy pullback as a 20 is about to curl it up. FRGT, I know we were looking at this last week and a couple times. Looked like a little healthy pullback. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it wants to bounce right there. IVDA up 2 cents, sitting in a great spot right there. Just a little flat today, nothing crazy but looking pretty good, I would say. I would say this one wants to try to get moving really soon, IVDA, so put a little arrow going up on that. LIDR, that's at AI Inc. And let's see, we were looking at this. This one's coming back down to the MACD, so I'm gonna figure it's gonna bounce off. I'm gonna look at it in the after hours, but it's hitting it right now. And let's look if it bounces tomorrow. Let me make a mark. A little bounce mark right there. MLEC, because yeah, that LIDR could definitely take a nice little bounce. If it does, we know it's going to be running up. MLEC, we're going to look for this. Looks like it's going to roll off. So if you want to see one about to get rolled off, MLEC looks like it's going to. Um, might not even come all the way down to it, but that one's looking good to try to move. We looked at this. This is at Molex Sciences, and it's in Luxembourg. I remember this one. And yeah, this one's gonna get cruising real soon right there. So keep your eye on that. NNVC, we did that one and it was set up. I had that one. I saw it on earlier. Didn't realize that was on Travels list as well. But yeah, that one's looking good. ONVO. Um, let's look at this bad boy. Just pulling back a little bit, but it's in a great spot right there. I don't think it's anything bad with it. I think it was just kind of pulling back healthy today. This one should be looking good still. ONVO, I think. Yeah, ONVO. So that one's looking solid. PSHG, that's like a freight company, marine shipping in Greece. And oh, this one's looking good, guys. Gonna roll off. Had a lot of bounce around today. 188 to 194. Let me look at this. This one's gonna get moving. This might be one to have on your list for tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Have that on your list tomorrow. PSHG looking great for tomorrow. Performance shipping. Oh man, that one looks really good. Just if that one stay curled up and is moving in the right direction, it's gonna get cruising there. So look at that one. RGF, real good food company. I remember looking at this the last few days. And another one, it's crossed through the MACD. It kind of just pulled back, honestly. And now it's when it was the bottom, and now it's trying to move back up. And like I said, now it crossed through, and it barely went up. Not a whole lot, but it's getting set up here. So exactly when you think that it's going to get flying is when it basically sets up. So we'll keep our eye on RGF. It's looking pretty good now. And RGF, yeah, a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy, looking good to set up. I like that. RVP, let's see. Oh, this one's sitting on the 20 curl. Oh, look at this one tomorrow, too. RVP, let me see it in the after hours. This looks like it wants to get curled up tomorrow and try to get moving. So RVP is looking decent. SGLY. Let's see this one real quick. SGLY. Well, let me type it in first. SGLY. Let's see. It's in a good spot. It like ran up today. Opened at 173. Actually didn't run up today. I think it gapped up. Yeah, because it closed at 164 on Friday and then it opened at 173 but came back down. And I'm trying to get a good idea. It's in a great spot, and I'm not exactly sure why it did that, but I'd have to look at this bad boy again. That's SGLY. Let me just take a look. It could definitely curl up tomorrow. Just a weird look of what it did today. So I would look at that tomorrow, but I'll look at it and tell you. USIO. Let's see this guy. Oh, this one's curling up too, right in between that channel, looking good to try to continue that momentum. So yeah, I would look at USIO in the morning as a momentum play too. So there you go with all them bad boys, and all we have is crypto and all the big cappers. I'll roll through them and let me know what you guys want to look at. And here we go. I'll take a look at crypto. Let me hop on my app real quick. It's just easier. It's right there. And I saw that they were pulling back. Bitcoin's back to 67,531. I thought it needed to pull back. I was saying earlier, it run all the way to the top. I'm not so sure they're going to cross through though, coming down. That's the thing right now we have to look at. I didn't think it wanted to stay up in that 70 either, so we'll look at it tomorrow morning. Ethereum's at 2,641. And let me see, because this one was still trying to get through to 100, and it's making a base right there. It's not really curled down or anything bad. So they could just be a little pullback to make room. Ripple's at 54. It was hitting the 20, and it still looks pretty good to try to get moving there. So nothing too crazy. Cardano's back to 36, and it's actually moving up. Cardano's curled up and going. So Cardano's like one of the few ones that still looks pretty decent at the moment. Besides Doge is at like over 14 and a half and just cruising up there in the 70. It pulled back and didn't even phase it. I think we talked about that last night, and I said it would be nice if they all do that. Well, they didn't all do that, but Doge did it. So Doge is obviously looking strong, and Bonk is down 3%, but over that 100, forming a base. And I bet it doesn't even cross down. I bet it bounces right off of that. So that one's not looking bad either. And that's our little crypto report, real quick. And let's look at our big caps and everybody else and see what's going on. What else is going to be popping? The SPY was down 96 cents, came down to 583, and it's perfect right there on that support line. The low is 580. That's the support line right there. And it's just sitting there flat, coming down. I don't think it's crossing down. I mean, it looks so bullish, it's insane. Something major would have to go on for the SPY to go crossing down, I think. But you'd never know in this world. So we'll keep an eye on it because that'll definitely dictate what the market's about to do. Let's look at the rest of them. GameStop down 52 cents. It was super set up this morning. Now it's pulling back to the line. Let's see if it wants to cross back down and come back down to like the 20, low 20 area again to get set back up. I don't know what game this is playing, but it just keeps going. It just keeps trying to get set up and then coming back down and just not doing anything. So AMC, this one looked like it's trying to get moving though. A little healthy pullback to 20s right there. And setting up, like I said, this one's been setting up bullish, and AMC is looking good right here at that 429. That bottom was obviously in the low fours, like 403. So I think AMC is trying to set up in not too long. And Chewy just came pulling back too. It was setting up bullish. So see how far that pulls back, and then we'll get that going. So that's CHWI, and it was looking good to try to curl through, and it bounced down. The next time it gets moving, it will cross through and really get moving. So that's when we're going to want it. And that's CHWI. Let's look at our Mag 7 NVIDIA. That was up $5 today, just kind of cruising up there. Nothing stopping that right now, huh? So that one's rolling up and looks pretty healthy to keep moving tomorrow for NVIDIA. Let's look at Apple because that one was setting up. And yeah, it ran up to that 236, opened at 234, and Apple is like super bullish. I'm telling you, it's going to get cruising as well. Let's look at Google. They had the antitrust thing. It was hitting that line, and it looks like it's just going to sit right there. It curled down. Google looks like it wants to have a hard curl up and get cruising again. So GOG looks like it might be moving tomorrow again. Amazon was up 8 cents. Um, Getting ready to crawl through and get cruising for sure. Amazon's about to get rolling. AMZN. And Meta, that's why I can't imagine the SPY coming through. Meta, like I said, that one needed to pull back. It's at 575. I wouldn't mind it coming back to 550. So let it pull back. We knew it was going to. It was in the 600s or 600. And now it's at 575, and we knew it was pulling back. And Tesla's just sitting there because their earnings are Wednesday, and it was down $1.85. It's at 218. And I think it's waiting for them earnings. It's about to go nuts. Has all these crazy looks. Although the 20's coming down, but it's got that hard support right there. And I think tomorrow you're going to want to take a look at Tesla. We'll definitely look at it in the morning. We always do. But it's going to be an interesting one for tomorrow with their earnings on Wednesday. So we'll be looking at it. Nike's down $1.44. Wow, that one came down to 81, was setting up super bullish. So that is dipping down, and 20's pushing it down, and now it's under the 50. So let Nike pull back a little bit. I'm kind of surprised that one was setting up, still setting up super bullish, but you'll get a great price on Nike. Rivian, we know, is pulling back, was down a penny. Um, Where's that 20 at? 1060. This is a 1003. Just let it drag that line. I'll let you know when Rivian's ready. We look at it every day, so I'll definitely know. PLTR, this thing's coming out of the top. I think it's got to pull back. The 20's down here at $40. So we'll see it pull back to there first, and then reevaluate it and see what it wants to do. Sophie just keeps running up. It's at 1040. It's running in the top, but be careful. It could be a momentum play in the morning, but nothing you want to jump into because it will be pulling back. Boeing BA, we were talking about this and it was looking good. It was up 482 and over 3% and looking good. I think it might have to pull back now. So that's BA Boeing. So it did run up today. Snow. This was setting up. Let me take a quick look and see if it's looking good. Coming down. I think we're going to get a roll off on snow. So we'll keep an eye on that in the next day or so to see if it's going to roll off and be a nice little blizzard to run. Dell was down 80 cents, up 15 in the after hours, and just kind of pulling back, setting up bullish. Let it pull back into like the 122s. It's at 125, and then it's going to get moving again. So Dell will set up the run. AMD was up 19 or $1.93 to 157.90, and this one just pulling back, making a base right there above the 50 at 153 area. It got down to 154. So just look for that 153. Could be its low on AMD, and it's setting up to be bullish in about a month. SPCE took a nice dip today. I have a feeling it's going to run back up tomorrow. It just looks like it hit the top and kind of bounced back down. Again, I was telling you my option sold, but this morning it actually ran up higher than it was the Friday because got up to 811. It opened at 775. It only got up to 782 on Friday. So it did run up a little bit higher and then it started to pull back. But again, I wasn't upset about my options and on Friday they automatically sold when they were expiring. I had no idea and it was great because I would have to sell them first thing tomorrow or in the morning today or hope that it bounces back tomorrow. And again, it could be pulling back to bounce up. We'll look at it. And obviously, space did run for us. INTC up 7 cents and pulling back a little bit, but making a base. I don't think it's going to get back down here to that 2174. So let's just see what it's trying to do here. INTC Intel. Hmm. Trying to make a base. I'll look at this tomorrow and see if when it's trying to curl up. I think the 50 is going to have to grab it. It might trade in between that 50 and 20 channel for a little bit. Nothing too crazy. So I'll look at that. Disney's down 66 cents at 96.62, but I think it's just kind of pulling back. And like I said, this is setting up super bullish. It'll be over 100 pretty soon. And that's Disney. So just look for dips on that. SMCI. This was up a little bit today, and I think you're going to get a roll off and start to move. I think your 20 and 50 are coming together. It's at 47 and it's about to get to like 60. So SMCI, keep an eye on that to try to get moving really soon. Let me mark that one down because I like that. Check out the options on that bad boy going forward. Oxy was up 16 cents today, but I think this is still pulling back, to be honest with you. OXY. And let's look at ExxonMobil, which is XOM. And I think that's pulling back, just kind of making a base there at 120. So that's not doing anything crazy. Mara, that's probably pulling back with Bitcoin. And it sure is. It was down 17 cents. Nothing crazy. It run up so much. So let's see if it just wants to pull back a little bit. And obviously, Bitcoin and crypto will dictate it. Riot was down 12 cents. It's in the top. I would like to see it come back down um, to the $8 and like $8 range and then get set up again. But we'll see what Riot wants to do. And again, we knew this was running from the lows, like in the sevens. It's all the way almost to $10. So that's RIOT and CLSK, Clean Spark. And this one's down. So another one hitting the top and kind of just flattened out. I have a feeling this one's going to try to peek its way into the top there. So we'll keep an eye on CLSK. It looks like it's trying to creep its way up there for some crazy reason. Let me see what it did in the after hours. After hours, it did run up a little bit, didn't it? It got up to 1380. Maybe that was it, and it's pulling back now. Because this always said it went up to 1276, and that's why it looked like it wanted to do that. It did run up there, it looks like. at some point into the 1380 area, and maybe it's coming back, like I said. So CLSK, I'll look at. Um, let's look at Coinbase real quick and see what they're up to. Down 649 with the crypto, and again hitting the tops and pulling back. I think they're just going to be bouncing around like crypto is right now, and we'll get set up to run more. CONL. This one's setting up to be bullish. Right up here at that $40. It's at 34. Just a little pullback. Looks similar to Coinbase. DJT was running up today, and it's going to run up into that top. I'm telling you, this thing is going to be a beast. So, DJT, we liked it at the 13 area. I would have liked to see it pull back a little bit more into the 25s, but it didn't want to. It just wants to go higher. So watch tomorrow for it to run, guys. DJT, it's gonna move. Should anyway. Fun was moving today up $1.64, up over $8.41. And in the threes, I said it was gonna get fun. So that was a nice little popper for us. And BLK, our BlackRock's pulled back. It's at $1,000 and even under. So let it come out of the basement or out of the top. Yeah, in the basement. Thing was never in the basement. Let it come out of the top, pull back a little bit. We'll see how far it comes back, and let you know when it wants to go up. If anyone likes BlackRock and PYPL. That's down 38 cents, but I'm telling you, this thing is going to get set up pretty soon. It looks really good. Maybe it wants to come back to that 79. So watch for that 79 area. It didn't come down there today, but tomorrow, look for 79 area on PayPal, and it is going to get rocking and rolling soon. And QCOM Qualcomm was down $1.91. And honestly, just look for this. If it can pull back in the 161s, I doubt it's at 169. Its low is 166. So that might be right around its low, maybe 163 area. But QCOM setting up to be super bullish like 2 or 3 weeks down the road. And there you go with a nice pre-market or yeah, I just said pre-market with a nice market review. And I think I just fried my brain after we just did probably how many stock tickers did we do? Well over 100, I'm sure. Well, I know that probably over 130, 40. So there you go. Just rock and rolled through a ton of them. I'll tell you, it looks good. That S dot's probably going to keep going up. GWAV, ELAB's looking good in the morning. NDRA's looking decent. SMCI looks good for some like I said, for some options in the future. SVRE and SPRC are looking both good to try to run up some more. Look at SXTC, that's looking really good. And PSHG was looking real good as well. FARM and CXAI. And what else? HSDT. There's a few. UK was looking real good as well. So there's a lot of them. ANTX. We have a ton of them. And you know that we're going to pick apart everything else that's moving. We already had all the other poppers like IVP, GNPX, LGMK, BIVI. We went over this morning. I believe it was on the Jolie's Jumpers. APVO. That one kind of jumped up there, didn't it? We'll see. Look at that one. See if it wants to run up more in the morning. SYTA, GRI, Save. I mentioned Spirit, ELAB. Look at that. It's on there right now. Holy cow. That one grabbed my attention. Had that on the list. Let's look at JTAI. Looks like it's pulling back. And so is that Gritstone, GRTS. Let's look at that real quick. That one's getting close. And again, here's our example. Here's that big hook, and this thing just keeps pulling back. So GRTS, we're going to keep on our list though, because it's going to get moving. It's getting close to that day out, and we'll catch that pop. So you got to be very patient and really time them out exactly. WULF. How about Lumina? That one looks good. That flashlight company, LUMN. That one kind of ran around today, but it looks like it's getting set up to run some more. And remember, this thing was in like the ones and ran up to like crazy, like $8 or something. LUMN. So we were looking at that before when it did it. OKLO. We had Lucid is way down. I actually just saw one of them cars the other day. I think it was the first time it said Lucid across the back. I was like, holy cow, I never even seen them before. And it wasn't even that nice. It just was a random basic car. Plug looks pretty good. PLUG. Look at that in the morning as well. That one could be a little momentum. Sophie's way up there. And Tesla, we know we're looking at that for its earnings. So let's just see if anything else grabs my attention real quick. Hold on real quick. I'll just look over here real fast, see if anything else is happening. And I'd say we had a heck of a night and a great day in the market. SNSE, Sensi Biotherapeutics was running up there. Um, could be a momentum play in the morning, guys. It did get up to the top right there and was running up. So check that bad boy. XBP, let's look at that. I think we just went over this, didn't we? XBP Europe Holdings. Pretty sure Laptop Travel had this guy. And that one moved up over 20% and then ran up even more in the after hours. XBP. That one got cruising, guys. We just looked at it the other day. It opened at 110. It ran up to like 253. It's at 226. So that one got moving. All these other bad boys we basically looked at. SRM. Let's take a look at that. SRM Entertainment. That was on the list not long ago. Take a look at this tomorrow because that one's looking really good too. SRM. So that one ran, I think, in the after hours. Um, that's why it looks so good. It opened at 73, got up to 153, and it's at 128. So keep an eye on that as a momentum. That's why it looks so good on the FinViz because it did run in the after hours. HOWL, I had this one on the list not long ago. That HAL, that was at Werewolf Therapeutics. And boom, that one ran up like 80 cents or more today. It got up to 328. It's at 285 right now. So I mean, we're just nonstop. All the ones that we look at are just going nuts. So there you go. And we're pretty much early for about 3 weeks early on almost every one of them. So we've been timing them out pretty well lately. So there you go. I hope everybody enjoyed that market recap. Let me go through the messages and make sure I didn't forget anything and see if oh, Jennifer Lee wants CCJ. So let's take a look at that bad boy real quick. Uh Camco Corp, huh? Down 10 cents. This one's way in the top. You got to be careful with this bad boy for sure. It's way up there. Yeah, I would definitely be careful, and I would expect this one to actually come down, Jennifer. So just be careful with that. Obviously, in the morning, if it's trying to run up a quick momentum, but be careful with that bad boy. And Brendan, how are you this evening? BSFC, let's take a look at it. BSFC, what's that one? Blue Star Foods. That's one that we were recently looking at, and it's starting to move up 15 cents and looks great. I would say that's another one that was on our list, BSFC, and is definitely moving right there and should keep momentum tomorrow, I would say. So there's another one we looked at and is way higher up than when we were looking at it. I can tell you that. It's at 65 cents. It jumped up 15. And that was another one I know was on a laptop lowdown. So there you go with that one. BSFC. I think it will keep the momentum tomorrow. So take a look at that one. And IVDA, I think we looked. Oh, yeah, look, it's right there on the 20, just a little flat right there. So keep an eye. Yeah, we did. I said it was going to go up. IVDA, I'll just read going through PTPI. Let's look at that one. Mike Drancalo, how are you this evening? PTPI, this is Petros Pharmaceutical. We looked at this one, and this one was flying up today, huh? Opened at 32 and a half, got up to over 43, almost 44, and it's at 41. So there's another one, PTPI, another one that we were looking at for a little while, and it's rolling up there. So as you guys can see, we get in early. 44 cents it got up to way higher than what we were looking at it at. I can tell you that right now. And there you go, a PTPI. That one was cruising. Thank you, Mike. Um, and yeah, there we go. Let me make sure I got everything. BTBT for Luis Rodriguez. Let's look at Bit Digital. Oh, that one's looking like it wants to try to. You know what? I think it might try to hit that top and come down a little bit, to be honest with you. It had some momentum, but just that look on it looks like it might need to pull back a hair. So just beware BTBT. But I mean, that's run up quite a bit as well from when we were looking at it. I think you brought that one up as well, Luis Rodriguez, and it's been up quite a bit, I would say. And yeah, it's getting up there to the top, and I don't know if it's going to break in there or at least tomorrow. I'm not sure, especially if the crypto's pulling back a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it has run up. I mean, I don't know where we were looking at it, but it's at 417, and we were probably looking at it in the three somewhere. So I'll look at that in the morning for you. I'll add that to my morning ones real quick, and I'll take a quick peek at BTBT, that Bit Digital, just to see what that's doing. And let me just see real quick and see about, hold on one second. GPLS, let's look at this one real quick. GPLS. Oh, hold on. I don't even know if I can even find that. Is that the one I was asking about? Oh yeah, here it is. It must be an OTC, or that was the one I think I couldn't figure out what it was. And it's GPLS. Let's look at, oh, it's curling up like crazy right there. This one's a crazy one. It's 6.5 cents. Um Again, I don't necessarily love these guys because they're hard to get a grip on. And GeoPulse, I can only find it on mine, so I'm not even sure what day it is today. Yeah, it's curling up there, but I'm not exactly sure on that bad boy. So again, I like them to be able to see them on all the charts and be able to really break them down. So. Let's see. I just want to run into the stock twits real quick and see what's going on over there real fast. Um, let's see. We got all them. We got all them. Got all them bad boys. Let me just see what's trending right now. Hold on. Nvidia, WULF, IONQ, NNE, couple crypto, OKLO, Quantum Space. Let's look at that. Quantum Scape. I always say space. Quantum Scape, QS. Let's see it. Down eight, up four, coming down to that bottom right there. I think this is one to keep an eye on. QS. Yeah, pulling back right there. I think we keep an eye on this one. It's earnings coming up. Um, Earnings date October 23rd. So that's coming up what, Wednesday, I guess. Yeah, Wednesday with Tesla. So we'll keep an eye on this as well. QS. Let me jot that one down. QS real quick. All right, we'll look at that one. TLT. I think that's a ETF, isn't it? TLT. Yeah, that's the treasury bond. There you go. That's pulling back, going down. So that's in the basement. Lumina we looked at, and what's APP? I don't even know what that is. Hold on. Let's look at that bad boy real quick and see what that is. App Loving Corp. I have no idea. This thing's been in the top for way long and looks like it wants to continue. Holy shit. Went in the top on like September 11th and it never came out. That's insane. It's been over a month in the top. I don't know what the hell this thing's doing. It's an AI company, but it just went nuts. So I've never even seen it before. App Loving Corp. That's what it's called. So there you go. And boom, I would say we just knocked out everything right there. And I just want to look at the five news stories real quick. Nvidia stock hits new highs as it reaches this milestone level. Asian shares decline as bond extends sell off. Four Fed policymakers favor more rate cuts but differ on pace. And one economic message from Costco Gold Bar craze. So I'm not sure what that is, but that was our there you go. That is our news stories on FinViz, and that is a wrap. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Laptop Travel, John Wong, Mike Trincalo, Low Country Profits, Elena, Turt, how are you? Crypto Bitmag, how are you this evening? Shannon Taub, how are you? Um, GB Beachkey, Scott, Brendan, Mayor, how are you this evening? Jennifer Lee always sends some great ones in, and Barbara Clay. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to everybody new that's checking us out. I'm telling you, we have a great community here. A lot of people that really know what they're talking about. As I always say, I'm not the only ones that's finding these bad boys. The listeners find plenty of them. Send them over. I just look at them and tell you what I see. I look at the charts and tell you what they look like to me and let you know what I see. And I just been doing it a long time. And like I say, I kind of talk to these things. I feel them. I get into the zone with them, and it's just crazy. But I love it, and I enjoy everybody hanging out, and I greatly appreciate it. So obviously, I'll be back at 7 a.m. We'll break down the pre-market, see what's actually popping tomorrow, and we already know what's about to be popping. So thank you, everybody, again. Have a great night, and I will catch you guys at 7 a.m. I will post the link early in the morning, and let me know if you want to see anything. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. BTBT was the last one. And there you go. And did I get, oh, well, let me just make, did I do CCJ for you? Hold on. Yeah, I did that. Okay, just making sure. And that one was at the top. I said definitely be careful with that bad boy. So there you go. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll catch yous in the morning. Have a good night. See yous then.